What's up, guys? Didn't realize you were there. Guys, today we are going to talk about entrepreneurship, all right? And particularly the differences between being an entrepreneur and being self-employed. Now, nowadays, the word entrepreneur is becoming like this huge buzzword. Like everybody who's anybody, it's like it's the hot thing right now, right? It's you go on social media, everybody's an entrepreneur, and I really wanted to break down, what are some of the differences and similarities, and hopefully, if you're out there and you work a 9 to 5, that it's something that you may want to aspire to, right? Now, for myself, if you've been following my channel, you're aware that a couple months ago, I left my full-time job to pursue my own passions, to create and follow my dreams to be an entrepreneur. So I know what you're thinking, like, how do you just be an entrepreneur? It's not enough to simply say that you're an entrepreneur. There are some steps, okay? And when we look at it, an entrepreneur is it's someone who takes on a significant amount of risk to run a business, all right? And particularly the person who starts up the business, all right? Now, self-employed, it could be sort of the same thing. It could be a one-man show, right? A one-person show, or it could be more than one person. Now, usually self-employed has to do with how do you interact with your clients? How do you receive your money? Most self-employed people, they contract their services to someone, right? I'll give you an example. You have some people who own franchises, own a Subways, own a McDonald's. Are they self-employed? Yes. Are they an entrepreneur? I wouldn't say so. Why? Because they already have an established business. Okay, McDonald's is already established. Subway is already established. They are providing them the resources in order for them to act out the business. They can shut them down. Okay, so does the person who runs that franchise, does this mean that they can stay home and no one has to tell them to come to work? Yes, they can. If you have workers there, you can control your own time. However, that self-employed individual understands that the way his money is made, her money is made, is based on the client. So you want that business to be run well. But again, there is an overhead for that person. All right. Someone's already given them the resources, the money, the means, the advertising to act out this business. That is an example of self-employed. If you're a freelance photographer and you find clients and they hire you to do a job, technically for that job, you work for that person, right? An entrepreneur is focusing on establishing businesses, right? Not necessarily meeting one-on-one with individual clients, but establishing a business that business can provide a service in which they will have employees, right? And that interaction between clients usually happen between the employees and that person's clients. So in other words, when you think of entrepreneurs, usually that person who's sort of behind the scenes, controlling everything, right? So they don't answer to anyone. Right? They don't have a boss above them that tells them, here's why you should do things or how you should do things. They don't get fired, right? And so being an entrepreneur means you're taking upon more risk. It usually also means that you're putting up your own money. So if you have a business and you've taken money from a bunch of other people, right? And what happens is that now they have an incentive, right? They can theoretically tell you how certain things can go. Why? Because they've provided you money. So it's just like when you're growing up. Your parents, if you're in their home, you couldn't do whatever you want because they're paying for the bills, electricity, they're putting food in your mouth, they're providing for you. And just like if you want to do whatever you want to do, what you got to do is you got to get up out that house and get your own place, pay your own bills, and then you could do whatever you want to do. It's kind of like the same thing, right? So the reason why I bring this up is because it's twofold. First thing is, I wish, right, that most people would understand that if you have certain skills, Every one of us have certain gifts that it's worth developing those gifts, and it's worth trying to go into business for yourself. I understand that everybody's not willing to take that risk. It's very, very safe and comforting feeling to know that you have a check that's gonna come every other Friday, right? But at the same time, you give up a lot of your creativity, you give up a lot of your life promoting and getting a business. And really, it goes back to that saying of, if you're not gonna work on your dreams, you're gonna work on somebody else towards theirs. And so I just feel like if you're gonna put in that time, that 20 years, that 30 years, that 40 years, it should be on something that you're passionate about, and it should be on something that you can pass off to your kids or your family or build a generation from. Now, another thing about entrepreneurs is they don't get paid directly from clients. They usually pay themselves from the revenue or profits from the business. So again, they look at it from, they need the business to operate, where the self-employed person usually interacts closer with clients, i.e. a photographer, someone who does video, freelance, that type of thing, means that the money you get from your clients, that's your income. Where the entrepreneur, his job, her job is to focus on the business growing, okay? And then to share in the profits of that. So it's two different perspectives. A lot of people get it confused. But what I would say is the entrepreneur is a level up from a self-employed individual. And if you're self-employed, hopefully you want to get to the point of being an entrepreneur. But again, it's all about the risk that one is willing to take. Now, I consider myself, again, being an aspiring entrepreneur because I'm willing to put up my own money. I'm willing to take on the risk to come up with products and services that I want to be able to offer others, that if people find value in it and they're willing to pay for that service, then I can consider myself to be an entrepreneur. So right now, I'm just building my network, building myself, building my brand in order to get to that point. But I just couldn't, I had to make this video because you hear it so much from people saying they're entrepreneurs, they're entrepreneurs, they're entrepreneurs, and they really don't understand what it means to be an entrepreneur. So again, being an entrepreneur is not for everyone, but it is something that if you do realize some of the gifts that you do have and you want to be able to monetize it, but you want to be able to build something that can far exceed yourself, it's something that is worth exploring. And I think everyone should be looking to establish something for themselves, right? So that's the video, guys. I just had to break this down. Let me know what you think about this video. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you aspire to be an entrepreneur, self-employed. Just let me know, It's your boy Built For Anything. Peace and love, y'all. I will catch you on the next video. I got work to do. I'm out.